Sony headphones. I mean, bro, I'll be honest with you. Probably, like, one of the better Souls game in my opinion. Like, it's like, you know what, there's a lot of different speculations. It doesn't fucking tell you whether it is or not. And I almost feel like it actually has everything to do with the Noxtella night events. Like, because, like, during the, like, events of Elden Ring, every time you go to, like, the Eternal Cities, one is destroyed. We don't know why, it just got destroyed. Right? And this game is consistently referring to that same first sin. And the whole entire fight is against the Knight. And the craziest thing is, the hopes of the, like, people of that city was that the champion of Night would come and, like, holst them away. We're fighting a guy named Holston, literally the aspect of the Knight. So I'm assuming the reason the motherfucker never arrived is because we killed him. Like, if I'm being 100% honest, I think this is less so an alternate timeline. I think this is, like, a prelude event, if you know what I mean. Like, a predestined event that occurred, like, almost simultaneously. Exactly, right? Like, does it fully relate? No, but without this, like, we wouldn't get what we had, you know what I mean? I think it actually, because the way it's described is, the Shattering is known. The Erdtree is known. One of the characters was a Crucible Knight. To be a Crucible... Yeah, so one of the... Like, if you were a Crucible Knight, that means you followed the tree itself, not the Golden Order or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, that means he predates the Order. Because America is the one who put those guys to, like, go out and fight with Godfrey elsewhere. I think he's one of the I think what happened was once that Elsewhere split happened, that's where this particular story is at. Just during that split, because every one of your characters is technically speaking a predestined person to be there, and two of the locations of the so-called, like, characters are kind of, like, for example, the samurai character who's also / the Crucible Knight, he comes from the Land of Reeds, which is also known to be not in the Lands Between. But is a land mentioned in the Lands Between because that's where the samurais come from. So what I entail is these are heroes. Yeah, that's exactly why. He was, yeah, exactly. He was a Crucible Knight who was master of the katana. Who ended up doing, like, again, this is the crazy shit. People didn't think this game had much of a story. Bro, I'm gonna tell you right now, this shit's got the exact same, like, in-depth style story that the original Dark Souls games had. It wasn't straight to your face, but playing the characters, looking at and reading all the items that you're getting, fills you in this big picture. And if I'm gonna be honest with you, my biggest fun thing with Elden Ring was wanting to fight the bosses multiple times without having to beat the game 100 times over. That's exactly what I get to do, is I get to repeat some of the craziest, most fun boss fights I've ever enjoyed in the games. And then enjoy these 8 brand new, insane bosses. Plus, they guaranteed us a DLC at the end of the year that increases the amount of characters and amount of bosses we get. And starting, like, end of this month, they're going to be giving us, like, 3rd stages to all the existing bosses. Like, as an enhanced playthrough. So, I'm excited. I'm excited, you know. As far as gameplay goes, I feel like they took what was really good with Elden Ring and polished it up a little more. Because the jumping and climbing, I swear to God, bro, that shit makes it impossible to go back and play Elden Ring. Because it feels like such an essential. Almost like taking the climbing out of Fortnite, do you know what I mean? Oh yeah, you can climb up ledges, vault over shit and stuff like that. Like, it changes the dynamic of how you play and how you fight certain enemies, because you can jump up an enemy and hit them in those crit spots that you couldn't before. So yeah, no, it's definitely interesting. The other most interesting thing, and personally what really captivates me to play the game, is actually the characters. Because a lot of people thought the different characters would make it a lot more limiting compared to every other Soul game. But I actually feel like that's what makes this Soul game so good and separate, because each character actually feels more diverse than what you would normally build. Because the thing about it is that I feel like no matter what character you start in the beginning, that's just a pre-mold. You, in the end of the day, play whatever you want. You can start as a knight and end up a mage. Do you know what I mean? Yes, it's a harder path, but in the end of the day, like, you could do it. There's nothing really stopping you. Nah, bro, the Wilder plays like a Wilder. Sure, you could give him other weapons, but if you want the Wilder to be at his best, give him a fucking greatsword. Like, it's like you have to. You're incentivized. You're incentivized to use those fighting styles to their best advantages. Again, because you could play the two magician characters that get any weapon, but again, they're better with magic. So using them with magical weapons, much better. You know what I mean? So again, same thing with like the Wilder. Yeah, you could use great axes and all these other more powerful weapons that could do damage because they're strength based. But then when you use like a great sword, he also gets a unique combo. Do you know what I mean? And that's what really ups the way they play, is not just so much that, like, oh, I get a katana. No. It's not that he just gets a katana. It's that his katana also swings differently than any of the other ones in Elden Ring. Like, you get a completely unique combo. And that was the cool part about finding different katanas in Elden Ring, right? Is discovering that, oh shit, Meteor Sword doesn't swing like the rest of the katanas because it does two heavy downswing attacks for its heavy instead of like a down and then an up. Oh, Nagakiba stabs and then slashes. That's a complete, like, you know what I mean? That varies how you play. So again, you know, the Duchess being a dagger character, she doesn't just swing left and right. She swings left, right, flips the dagger over, does like two underhand stabs and shit like that, you know? A much more intricate and much more powerful moveset. So, and I fuck with the way they really, like, changed up this game, but at the same time also kept it very Souls-like. Only real gripe I would say is definitely the fact that there is a lack of two-player. Like, it forces you to play three-player or solo. Solo isn't really as fun, so... And that's another, like, I think that's the biggest, like, community gripe about it, is that this game wasn't really built solo, and unfortunately, like, Savage realized that a lot of people who likes, like, the Souls games don't really have that many friends to play with. That's just a fact of it. A lot of them have, like, a solo pride of beating the game, do you know what I mean? Like, oh, I soloed it with no, like, no flasks, no tears, you know? So yeah, like, if you get past, like, the way people want Souls games to play and play, like, you know, you just play a game with your homies, that's Savage. Dude, it's a lot of fun. Like I said, I got Savage playing it with me all the time. Like, me and Savage have over 100 hours into the game, dude. Like, and I've already beaten the game, and I'm still interested in, like, completing all the endings and shit like that, you know what I mean? Like, I've fully beaten the game already. Like, I've completed one of the endings. I beat the final boss. I've beaten a couple of the bosses multiple times. I was, like, on a 3-win streak for a while. Like, I defeated 3 Night Lords in a row. I've, like, done... Okay, so I've done 116 expeditions and 114. Ain't that some shit, though? Oh yeah, dude, I'm probably gonna be like, this is probably gonna be the game I play the rest of the year. Oh shit, they released that new character. My bad. The new fight that I was telling you about, one's already here today. I thought it was later this month, not today. So yeah, I guess it wasn't the first that they released as the first fight, but yeah, that's sick. The way it works too is there's the first enemy is called the Tricephalus with like the 3 heads is the fox, right? You won't see any of the other bosses until you beat that one. Cheers, my dude. You know what's funny? I feel that almost every character they made is a reference to one of their other Souls games. Like everyone has a resembling fighting style. Like the Executor is literally John Sekiro. His whole entire combat style revolves around the biggest premise of Sekiro, which is parry. Parry everything. With like the Guardian, I feel like it's a very Dark Souls, Demon Souls gameplay because it's like block, you know, and that's what those games were about. They're very block centric.
Yeah. Parry.
That's Sekiro. That's literally like Sekiro right there. Because the ability with the Executor is you pull out your cursed katana, and whenever you block, if you time it perfectly, you parry any and every move. Magic included. So if like motherfucker blasts magic at you, you can just deflect that shit. And after a few deflects, you open like your blade opens up, and it becomes like more powerful and shit. Not much might like I like the katanas a lot, but I'm not a parry like. Savage, your favorite boss? We've got an upgrade. The gaping jaw. We have gaping jaw elite now. I guess they, you know how yesterday you were making that joke that they're fucking, delivering the DLC too slowly? Well, they said, fuck you, Savage. Today's the day, they said. They're like, is he doubting our gangsta? Can't let this man doubt our gangsta.
Like, release it tomorrow. But sir, it's not ready.
Tomorrow!
Make it
right?
ready.
Tomorrow, I said! They are doubting our gangsta once again. First they said Elden Ring wouldn't be a good RPG game. Then everybody loved it. Now they're saying we ain't delivering no DLC that fast. My favorite is everybody thinking this is a DLC. Like, a lot of people are like, man, I hate this new co-op DLC. I think it's best.
I thought it was a spin-off title.
I mean, honestly, you're probably a lot more correct than anybody else thinking, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, as I said, I think it's very much a tie-in game.
Like a spin-off prequel.
Well, I was gonna say, I think this is a, not necessarily spin-off prequel, I think this is supposed to be an almost direct prequel to something it's supposed to be like what I was explaining to Justo. There is an event in game that is very much described to happen, but doesn't occur. Do you know what I mean? Like, for example, the underground cities. Like, you know how there's that one spooky city that we see, and it's kind of like really fucked up looking. There's a lore piece in regular like Elden Ring that says that that city was one of like 3 eternal cities. 2 of them were covered under the ground to never see night sky again, and the 3rd one was destroyed. Never, like, completely wiped out, never to be seen again. For, like, a very nasty crime they committed. Now, at the bottom of that destroyed city, like, at the very end of it, you find that same creature that we fight at the end of, like, that big, like, you know, hallway. Estelle. So with me thinking that, and then the next part is those people, like the people of that eternal city, they were waiting for the champion of night, like the Lord of Night, a champion of the night.